CFIG and its retail members thank the following sponsors for their support of this Celebration of Grocers event: Associated Grocers, Atlantic Grocery Distributors, Loblaw's Affiliate Wholesale Group, Sobeys Wholesale Group, The Grocery People, and lead media sponsor Canadian Grocer. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President and CEO of the Canadian Federation of Independent Grocers, Tom Shurey.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this GIC Live at Home virtual gala event. At the end of last year's Independent Grocer of the Year Awards, who could have possibly imagined the challenges 2020 would bring to the country, our businesses, and to our families? In the face of this pandemic, Canadians have done what we always do. We have come together to help each other. And nowhere is this more true than the stores of Canada's independent grocers. Obviously, it was impossible for us to travel the country to conduct our Independent Grocer of the Year Awards judging due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But we felt it was important to recognize the extraordinary and outstanding efforts our members have made to ensure that Canadians were fed and supplied with the essentials they need. I know that every single one of your stores worked hard to keep your shelves stocked and keep your staff and customers safe. In 2020, each one of you is entitled to be called Independent Grocer of the Year. Tonight, we'll look at how you did what needed to be done. You'll hear praise from some senior government officials. Some of our AMC members will share with you their stories of how they have dealt with these difficult times. We also present 2 CFIG Life Member Awards, and next we'll announce the winners of our regional and national student scholarships. I'm sure you'll enjoy this evening's presentations.
Please welcome the Vice President Retail Sales from Kraft Heinz, Peter Hall.
Hello everybody, my name is Peter Hall and I'm happy to be part of this unique CFIG virtual event, celebrating the achievements of the Canadian independent grocers in these difficult times. As many of you know, we at Kraft Heinz have manufacturing facilities around the globe, and one of the reasons we were able to react with such speed to the COVID-19 consumer demand is because we were listening to our global counterparts who recognized very early on what was happening, and from late December 2019, we were already prepping and planning for the potential of COVID-19 reaching and spreading in North America, and we knew that as a food manufacturer, we would have a critical role to play in helping to feed Canadians. We as a company made many key decisions to keep stores supported and make sure that our products were available on your shelves. Firstly, we made the decision to focus production on high demand products: KD, pasta sauce, frozen, peanut butter, cans of beans, and of course, baby food. We also decided to keep our sales reps on the road and calling on stores. Our reps overwhelmingly wanted to help. They wanted to support their local stores, the staff and the managers that they know and have developed relationships with over a number of years. This is what you do when you're a partner and you care about the people you work with day in, day out. We as an organization, and I personally, could not be prouder of our field sales team, our frontline heroes. We communicated openly and frequently with all of our customers. We knew that the need for open dialogue was critical. Otherwise, how would we overcome the barriers to get products onto store shelves to make sure that Canadians could feed their families? For me, these were the keys to our success. And I can tell you that it was a total team effort in support of our partners. This is work that we can all be very proud of. And when we look back on this experience in the years to come, I'm sure we will be. Throughout this extraordinary year, CFIG's support of its members has been as strong as ever, and I'm pleased to announce that CFIG has continued to award scholarships to deserving students. Applicants must be working for a current member or be a family member of an employee of a current CFIG member. These are our regional winners. Each has received $2,000 to use towards their higher education. And for me, it's a welcome tradition here at Kraft Heinz that we present CFIG's National Scholarship winner. Let me introduce you to Sophie Semenyuk from Edmonton, Alberta. Her sponsoring store is Save on Foods Hampton. Let's hear from Sophie.
Hi, my name is Sophie Semenyuk, and I'm honored to have been selected as the 2020 Canadian Federation of Independent Grocers National Scholarship winner. I found out about the CFIG scholarship program while I was a student in high school. This was a few years before I was eligible to apply, but I knew that it was a program that was suited to me. My father has worked for his entire career within a community grocery store. As a child, having a father who worked in a grocery store meant that I would see the store as a busy and interesting place filled with people working with different products. But as I got older, I became aware of the store's importance in a healthy community. A store is a place that represents many links: the interpersonal interactions between customer and grocer, or the link that is CFIG, which connects grocer and supplier. A result of these intertwined links is that grocery stores, which are a part of everyone's daily lives, connect us all. Applying for this scholarship and writing my essay allowed me to reflect on grocers' often unrecognized role in our lives. This is why I would encourage all eligible students to apply for the CFIG scholarship, as it is a great opportunity to further connect yourself to your world. I myself am grateful to CFIG for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau.
Hey everyone, bonjour à tous. Across this country, thousands of independent grocers like you are helping provide Canadians with the things they need most. Every day, you wake up early and stay up late to keep the shelves stocked with food, medicine, and other essential goods. You stand on your feet for hours to make sure people can get the supplies they need for their families. And even during this tough time, you're always willing to go above and beyond to help the people in your communities. Now, more than ever, the tireless work of those who make up the Canadian Federation of Independent Grocers is essential to help get us through these difficult days. And so, on behalf of a grateful country, I want to say thank you for everything you're doing. On va traverser cette crise ensemble grâce à des gens comme vous et au travail que vous faites à chaque jour. Encore une fois, merci pour tout ce que vous avez fait et merci pour tout ce que vous allez continuer de faire.
Please welcome Coca-Cola's Senior Vice President, National Sales and Consumer Marketing, Scott Lindsay.
Hello, everyone. Well, what a year this has been for all of us. First, on behalf of our Coca-Cola Canada system, I would like to say thanks to all of you, the independent grocers of Canada, who have gone above and beyond to keep our country fed. Saying that, I also want to say how proud I am of our Coca-Cola associates. From the start, our account managers, production workers, warehouse teams, drivers, and merchandisers, they've all been adapting policies and production on a daily basis. And because of their dedication, since March, almost all of our deliveries to your stores have been made on time. That is truly remarkable given the personal and professional challenges that our associates have been faced with during this pandemic. For those few times that we've missed, I thank you for your understanding. The challenges we faced are not unlike those faced at your stores. Enhanced sanitation on our production lines and scheduling our production associates in bubbles, social distancing at our warehouses, and of course, personal protection equipment across the board. Another significant challenge we've faced is the can scarcity across North America, not just for our products, but everywhere. Increased at-home consumption has put a significant strain on can manufacturers across the board. So we've had to pivot and focus production on our most popular brands to make sure your customers and our consumers find them in your stores. At the beginning of this pandemic, our drivers and merchandisers were faced with the difficulty of adapting to varying store requirements. Delivery, stocking, merchandising were just no longer routine activities. Today, with the protocols more uniform across the country, we operate in the new environment with new routines. So I must say in closing, I'm extremely proud of our Coca-Cola associates in our plants, warehouses, and in the field who continue to meet the challenges of this pandemic, making sure you have the Coca-Cola products your customers count on. Please, please stay safe and enjoy the rest of the evening.
The neighborhoods served by Canada's independent grocers have always known that your stores are essential services, not just for the food you provide, but also for the support you give your communities, the employment you provide, and the many events that you help sponsor. The stress of dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic in Canada has become an unwelcome part of everyday life. Each of your stores has found ways to cope and to become stronger. Customers working from home have rediscovered you. Families eating more meals at home are finding new ideas in your stores. Coast to coast to coast, Canadian independent grocers can take pride in being the stores Canadians trust to feed their families safely. And now, please welcome from Nestle Chief Customer Officer Steve Fox.
Independent grocers are an important part of the Canadian retail landscape, and Nestle's commitment and support of these businesses stretches across all levels of our organization, including at store level. A great example of this is Tina Walker, our retail sales representative, who exemplifies the passion and dedication all of our colleagues have for independent customers. Based in Regina, 3 of the stores in Tina's territory are part of the Sherwood Co-op, an important customer that Tina has developed a strong partnership with through open communication, regular visits, and hands-on merchandising support. Even though the Nestle retail team was withdrawn from stores for months due to COVID-19, Tina continuously maintained her connectivity, strong communication, and unwavering support with the Sherwood Co-op teams to provide as much assistance as possible from a distance. With her return to stores in early June, Tina and her merchandiser, Joy, have resumed the strong service that had proven successful pre-COVID. Independent grocers are an important part of Nestle's business, and we truly value the partnerships we have built with them. Speaking of true partnerships, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank the CFIG, my fellow AMC colleagues, and each of our customers for their support during my time with Nestle. Although I'll be retiring in March, I am confident that my successor will continue building the strong relationships you've come to trust.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Premier of British Columbia, John Horgan.
Hi there, Premier John Horgan here. If you're working in the grocery store during the pandemic, I want you to know you're making a real difference. I'm sure it hasn't always been easy for you, but your work is essential. Food is the fuel we need to keep going, and it provides comfort during very stressful times. By making it possible for people to buy groceries and cook for their families, you're helping sustain your community. To all the grocery workers, on behalf of all British Columbians, thank you for what you do.
Please welcome the Vice President, Sales and Trade Marketing from J.M. Smucker, Stephen Curry.
Good evening, everyone. Like all of you, Smucker Foods of Canada has many stories of how our company was affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. I'd like to focus on one of them, our flour business. As everyone knows now, by early April, baking, and especially baking bread, became a critical activity for tens of thousands of Canadians coast to coast. The bake aisle was literally the hottest aisle in the store. And by early April, we knew we were in crisis on our flour business. All of our inventory had been deployed and shelves were still wiped out. Our 4 mills were going full out 7 days a week, and still we could not keep up with demand. We looked at using capacity allocated to the food service and away from home channels, whose volumes had collapsed. But bag dimensions and designs were different, and that was preventing us from using those idled lines for retail. Then one of our millers identified an opportunity to pack our Robin Hood formulation in commercial 10 kg bags in the Saskatoon mill. Of course, these bags looked nothing like our iconic yellow packaging, and the bags had different dimensions. We decided to take the concept to customers, including CFIG members, for consideration. Given that none of them had much flour, it was at least a partial solution to a crisis. Much to our surprise, every customer we asked said, yes, please give me Robin Hood in any package or any bag color. Within weeks, we were running the new pack on the underutilized food service production lines. To expedite speed to market, we shipped the bags to customers in Western Canada, and that allowed us to direct the rest of our Robin Hood yellow bag production to other parts of the country. You may wonder how it all looked, worked out, and how we helped shoppers through this change. Well, bakers in Western Canada bought tens of thousands of these new, unique-looking Robin Hood bags. These pictures highlight the different appearance and how we communicated to shoppers about what was inside the bag. By being creative, taking a chance, and engaging customers, we were able to meet flower demand in a way we would never otherwise have been able to do. We take great pride in how we worked with our packaging suppliers, millers, and customers to feed Canadians during this crisis.
Canada's independent grocers have had a robust presence on social media, but the pandemic has made this communication channel more valuable than ever. Customers looking for answers on store hours, policies, and even items in stock found answers on Facebook and Instagram early on in the crisis. And social media continues to be an effective way of reaching out to the community with store news and changes to in-store policies due to enhanced safety measures or changes in government regulations. Most importantly, social media has been a way to reassure your customers that their safety and their family's well-being is your primary concern. Please welcome from Maple Leaf Foods, Senior Vice President Retail Sales, Scott Lorimer.
Sometimes an unexpected event changes how you think about your job and the role you play. At Maple Leaf, we have always strived to support our retail partners with great innovation and creative merchandising because we know that's important to you. Then came 2020, when our business relationships with you became an essential service to our country and its citizens, and our jobs, yours and ours, took on deeper meaning. Like our valued partners, Maple Leaf Foods is proud to be part of an essential industry that is nourishing Canadians during one of the most challenging episodes in our nation's history, the COVID-19 pandemic. Although we never imagined the challenges we'd face in 2020, people and food safety is in our DNA. We obsess about it. This year, we relied on our disciplined safety culture in our pandemic response. When COVID impacted our country and our local communities, we implemented our plan and changed how we operate literally overnight. We began with careful health and temperature screening processes in all of our plants every day. And although face coverings have long been commonly used in our operations, they weren't required for every person in every role. That all changed with COVID. They're now required for every person in every role as soon as they arrive on our property, and we even encourage our colleagues to wear them while in their cars, especially when carpooling. We require careful social distancing throughout our plants and offices. We've installed separators between our workstations, brought in trailers to decrease density during breaks and staggered shifts. We've added new shifts and we've added overtime whenever possible. We've literally transformed how our plants look and operate. It's now our new normal. We also know that to ensure a healthy workforce, we have to care for the communities. We've donated food and funded to the Frontline Healthcare Workers Fund. We also donated 500,000 masks to the hard-hit Brandon, Manitoba region earlier this summer when they had a community spread. We're so incredibly proud of our frontline team members. We call them heroes and we mean it. They have continued to produce food during our challenging times, and to them we say thank you. And to our independent grocery customers, we say bravo to your incredible response, your tireless efforts to keep the supply chain moving forward, and ultimately to people's tables. Like everyone around the globe, we eagerly await the day when COVID-19 is behind us. Until then, we promise to continue to do our very best to produce food people need and to ensure the safety of our teams and of our communities, and to work closely with you, our partners, to ensure we have fulfilled our mandate as an essential service for Canadians. Take care, everybody, and stay safe.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alberta Premier Jason Kenney.
Thank you to everybody that works in our grocery industry for keeping our society fed the critical supplies that we need, even during these, especially during these challenging times. To the grocers out there, especially the small independent grocers who aren't backed up by big corporations, it's a struggle, especially right now. But this is a moment when we can really acknowledge people who don't get enough credit or gratitude. And that includes the store clerks, the folks stocking the shelves, the folks at the cashier, the folks working in the back of these businesses, the truckers that supply them, all of those folks who work every day to keep our society fed and to keep those store shelves stocked, to take special care of our seniors and those who are more vulnerable, with the many stores that have started golden hours in the morning and have taken special public health safety precautions. So let me say, on behalf of all Albertans, a huge thank you to those who work in our grocery stores on the front lines for what you're doing every day to ensure food security during this pandemic. We truly appreciate you.
Please welcome Vice President Sales for Lactalis, Todd Johnston.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're all keeping safe and staying well in these extraordinary times. As confirmed COVID-19 cases are once again on the rise throughout the country, Lactalis Canada's goal remains the same, which is to supply Canadians with healthy and nutritious dairy products. Following the first detected cases in Canada in late January, we paid close attention to how it progressed from coast to coast, but there was no way to predict the sharp and immediate demand put upon retailers and manufacturers alike. Without any hesitation, our goal was to work with all retailers through the Feed the Nation campaign and do whatever we could to ensure product was getting to those who needed it. During the initial panic purchasing period, we had to navigate through the genuine concern by all Canadians of the unknown and for what was to come. We proudly worked closely with the entire industry to respond to those needs. That partnership transcended beyond ourselves as manufacturers and that of our relationship with our retail customers. We worked closely with our competitors to ensure we collectively distributed product with no regard to self-interests. We worked with logistical and supply chain outlets to coordinate the deliveries, which was nothing less than chaotic for us all. Our operational teams worked whatever hours they could to keep production at maximum capacity. That behind-the-scenes effort was all to support what was happening on the front lines in each store, in each city, and in each community. I remember going into a store to do whatever I could to help, whether it be to stock shelves or simply load boxes. And the attitude of the clerk was all business. He was down-staffed due to their own reasons for not being able to come in. He had a lineup of trucks waiting to be received, and he had customers frantically looking for product with the hope that he had some stashed in the back after finding the shelves wiped. But beyond all that, he was doing what he could and doing it with a sense of urgency and a positive attitude. The independent spirit embodies that very attitude, which is to take care of their community, their people, and each other. We're not out of this yet, and the need for our collective effort to push through this continues. So let's stay positive, stay focused, and stay united. Thank you, and stay well.
CFIG members have done an amazing job of adapting to COVID-19 protocols. Here's a story from Vince's Market that reflects what many are calling the new normal.
So being an essential worker during the pandemic, we've really stepped up our safety precautions. So that means just extra personal protective equipment, and we just really want to ensure that every customer feels safe when they come in, whether that's if we ask them if they want to use hand sanitizer or if we need to change our gloves for them. It's really just been a big difference just dealing with the customers and the public and making sure that everyone feels comfortable along with the staff, and Vince's has been really good. So the biggest change that I've had to deal with throughout this pandemic would really just be the extra precautions. So that's wearing the mask, making sure that stations are clean and that everyone feels safe and just comfortable when they're coming into like this little community.
Did you ever think that working at a grocery store that you would say that you were an essential worker?
Definitely not. This has always just been like a part-time job that gets me through school. I never thought it would come to this, but it's really been a blessing to just be here and help others, and especially that it's been so good. The company has made us feel so at home and really safe too throughout this time, so it's been a good experience for me.
And you realize people are relying on you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's it's a really cool thing that something as small as groceries was something that people needed and that we were relied on for that. So it was cool to be a part of this experience, especially with the help of Vince's. As far as the delicatessen has changed, the biggest change is people prefer prepackaged meats or prepackaged olives and cheeses. When we are serving at the counter, we do take all of the proper precautions. We're wearing our masks, we're keeping our distance, we're making sure things are sealed and covered as much as possible, cleaning constantly, as we always are, but we're just taking those extra steps right now. But for the most part, people are still happy, still shopping, and they're just taking it easy and being safe.
Please welcome Associate Director National Retail from General Mills, Sonia Gordon.
Hello, everyone. It's my pleasure to be at this virtual event celebrating Canada's independent grocers. At General Mills, we serve the world by making food the world loves. That is our purpose and guides all that we do. We like to say our iconic brand Cheerios brings cheer to the world. We were planning to cheer on Team Canada at the 2020 Summer Olympics, but with the games canceled, we discovered there was a different team fighting for all of us that could use a bit of cheer. They were the frontline food bank heroes working tirelessly across the country to help feed Canadians who were faced with sudden unemployment and financial insecurity. To support food banks across the country, our Cheerios team decided to make a $500,000 cash donation and also donated $600,000 in product. We also created a national advertising campaign for Food Banks Canada with an animated spot to inspire Canadians to rally around this issue. The spot builds around Murray the Brave, who embodies the spirit of all frontline workers. Have a look.
Murray the Brave bore no resemblance to the name, but his work every day was brave just the same. He lifted boxes off shelves, cans of kidney beans, stacked Cheerios, cheesy string, and everything in between. While the people sank safely into their couches, Murray sorted packages and pouches. He boxed up more than just food for worried families at home. Murray the Brave shipped out cheer and hope.
I should mention that Murray the Brave was inspired by a real volunteer. At General Mills, we recognize that independent retailers across Canada have also made extraordinary efforts to ensure Canadians are fed. And we are proud to be part of this event that celebrates you, your staff, and your stores.
Ladies and gentlemen, Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe.
Grocers and grocery store workers have been on the front lines of essential work since the very start of the COVID-19 pandemic. For months, you have been helping serve Saskatchewan people with the daily necessities of life. Your work may only loosely resemble what it was at the beginning of the year. Hand washing stations, and physical distancing lines, sanitation requirements, and the plexiglass, all now staples of your workplace. But what you are doing is important. By keeping open the flow of food and other goods to people, you have ensured that life can go on in Saskatchewan as normal as can be. And for all of that, on behalf of the government of Saskatchewan and all of the people in this province, thank you. Thank you for what you do.
Please welcome Vice President Customer Development, PepsiCo Foods, Mike Lust.
Well, what a year we have to talk about. And first and foremost, I wanted to start by saying thank you to each and every one of you for your partnerships in helping keep Canadians fed and keeping our people safe. It's been an incredible journey that we've been on together, and it will continue all the way long into the future. So as PepsiCo, I wanted to share a few things that have happened during the pandemic and how we've responded to it. First and foremost, as a global company, we were able to react very quickly on two fronts. The first being safety, and the second being keeping our manufacturing facilities up and running at full speed so that we could keep product flowing to your stores and keeping Canadians happy. That is our commitment that will continue, that we are going to focus on those two things, the safety and the flow of goods, so that we can continue to drive the business forward. In terms of what it meant for changes that we may have made in our business, I really wanted to share three things. The first one was what it meant to how we engage with consumers. And by that, I mean that we really focused on talking and celebrating about local, the fact that our products are made in Canada from coast to coast in communities everywhere around this great country. And we wanted to celebrate that fact. And as things began to reopen, such as hockey, we wanted to also recognize and celebrate those moments of joy, but do it in the right way. To do it in ways that celebrated those tiny moments that people were going to have. It might not be the big parties, but there was going to be moments to celebrate, and we wanted to be a part of that. with our people, we really wanted to ensure that we kept the culture that is so a big part of PepsiCo, that we really stayed focused on that through things like staying connected on a weekly basis, talking about really important things like mental health, social issues, really encouraging conversations and making sure we're knowing how people are doing from coast to coast. And then as well, encouraging people to help make decisions faster. The business is very fluid. We can't afford to slow down. We need to move faster than we ever have. And finally, we needed to build deeper partners with you, our retailer partners across the country, to ensure that we could move quickly, we could adapt to change, and we could ensure that no matter what, we had product moving and that we were doing it in a safe way for all Canadians and keeping the business up and running. So with that, I just wanted to say thank you again. Thank you for your partnership. We look forward to continuing the journey together and hope to see you all soon. Be safe.
We heard often during GIC Live at Home that online ordering is growing at an unprecedented pace due to COVID-19. Whether it's for delivery or click and collect, this way of shopping has been embraced not only by the Amazon generation, but also by seniors and others who, by necessity, have been introduced to this experience. In response, CFIG members are expanding their online presence, offering customers a virtual experience that, while not the same as being in the store, still gives them easy access to the food they desire. Please welcome Procter & Gamble Vice President Sales, David Blackmore.
Hello, I'm David Blackmore, and I'm replacing Jim Leash, who's retiring after 36 years of service with Procter & Gamble. I've been with P&G for 20 years, and I've had a career that spanned across Canada, Europe, the US, but I'm most excited to be coming back to Canada and working with all of you. Since the start of COVID, P&G has had three very clear priorities. Our first priority is to protect the health and well-being of our employees. Like many companies, we have a large employee base that's working from home. But as our products have been deemed essential, we've had to ensure that we've had enhanced safety measures at our production sites and at our general office sites. Our second priority is to serve consumers and customers like you who count on our brands and the benefits that they deliver. We take care of the health and hygiene of our consumers, and we help them create safe and healthy homes for their families. Our supply organization is working 24/7 to maximize production to ensure that we can meet the increased demand from consumers and from customers. And our third priority is to be a force for good for our communities, for relief agencies, and for frontline workers. We've converted manufacturing sites to produce hand sanitizers. We've also donated over $4 million of product in kind. We're a very large and powerful voice. We're one of the biggest advertisers in the world. And if it's one thing that is sure, it's that 2020 has brought enormous clarity to a lot of issues. And we will lend our voice to those issues.
But what worries health officials is how fast it's spreading.
El coronavirus es peor que...
Going to be gone soon.
Hey, Mommy.
The video you saw is about encouraging people to lead with love in times of uncertainty. We're also using our voice to help drive racial equality. And we've recently announced that we are going to be carbon neutral by 2030. So there are many challenges ahead, but I'm looking forward to working with all of you on them. And I know we can address them together, and we can be a force for good for our communities and for our Canadian consumers.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford.
I want to thank all the members of the Canadian Federation of Independent Grocers
for rising to the challenge we currently face. These are unprecedented times, and I want to thank each and every person who is working in our independent grocery stores across this great province. Thank you for looking out for each other and for your customers to ensure everyone stays safe and healthy. Your around-the-clock dedication is ensuring that families can continue to buy the food, medicines, and necessities they need. You're not essential workers, you're heroes. I know this is a difficult time, but if we have each other's backs, we will get through this. I want to thank each of you for your patience and adaptability during these uncertain times. Please keep up the tremendous work. Thank you, and God bless.
Please welcome Kruger Products Senior Vice President and General Manager Consumer Business, Michel Manceau.
I want to first say how grateful we are at Kruger Products to be surrounded by businesses and individuals who have been stepping up and giving back. It's incredible to see how Canada has come together during these challenging times. Since the pandemic began, our focus has been keeping our employees, customers, and Canadians at the forefront of our decision making. We deployed immediately our emergency crisis plan, expanded our health and safety protocols, and rapidly worked on increasing production of cashmere, sponge towel, Purex, Scotties to address the spike in demand for tissue products. We are working closely with our retail partners, especially Canada's independent grocers, to meet the increased demand for tissue products. We have 7 plants in Canada that are operating 24/7 at full capacity and are building another state-of-the-art plant in Quebec, which will give us additional capacity in early 2021. As we ramp up production, we also wanted to support and thank Canada's frontline healthcare workers who are working so hard to help heal Canadians. So through our Rolling It Forward initiative, we have delivered bathroom tissue, facial tissue, and paper towels to 30,000 frontline healthcare workers at 32 hospitals across Canada. We also wanted to help the most in need. So we have donated products to Food Banks Canada's location across the country. My biggest learning this year has been the need to be able to quickly adapt and be flexible to respond to any crisis that may arise. From suspending advertising and redoing marketing plans to increasing production and mandating new health and safety protocol, I'm extremely proud of our team for being so agile, nimble, and adaptable in these exceptional times. Finally, I want to express my sincere appreciation for your support and patience in working with us to manage through these unprecedented times. Our long-lasting partnership with Canada's independent grocers is critical to our ongoing mission to make everyday life more comfortable. Thank you.
Grocery Hero. That's the title earned by every person in your stores. From the beginning of this pandemic, they have been there to ensure Canadians were fed. On behalf of CFIG and all Canadians, thanks to each of you.
I hope you're enjoying this celebration of Canada's independent grocers. Your stores have helped your communities cope with these stressful times and have kept Canadians fed. I'd like to say a big thank you to our AMC members who took time from their busy schedules to tell us how their companies did their best to get food and supplies to all of our stores. Even during this pandemic, the Associate Members Council has been there to help guide CFIG's efforts. I thank you once again for your continuing support. And now it's my absolute honor to announce the recipients of the CFIG Life Member Award. Our first Life Member has been part of the Associate Members Council, AMC, for over 10 plus years. It's been a pleasure working with you, Stephen Curry.
Stephen Curry's exposure to marketing and sales began at a young age. His father and uncle made and sold Coronation pickles, olives, maraschino cherries, and relish from their factory north of Montreal. Stephen attended Bishop's College School in the eastern townships of Quebec, where he started to develop his own marketing and sales skills as the house manager for the school theater. He went on to Queen's University, earning Bachelor of Arts honors in politics. But marketing was Stephen's passion. He grabbed every marketing elective he could, and he put the theories he learned into practice, managing and reinventing one of Queen's pubs. And Stephen discovered another passion while at Queen's. It's where he met his wife, Jill. After graduation, marketing won over politics, and Stephen joined what was then Lever Brothers as assistant brand manager on Sunlight laundry detergent. It was the beginning of a 22-year career culminating with positions as VP of Sales at Unilever. While at Unilever, Stephen's marketing team launched the Axe brand and played an instrumental role in developing Dove's Campaign for Real Beauty. The Dove work reflected Stephen's strong social conscience. The global campaign has continued to be relevant to this day. In 2009, Stephen made the move to Smucker as VP Sales and Trade Marketing. With his new position, he continued to be an active member of CFIG's Associate Members Council. Stephen says that CFIG gave him the opportunity to better understand the role and importance of the independent in our industry. He's proud of how he could take that back to his team at Smucker and talk about the value of participation in CFIG. Outside of the office, Stephen serves as president of Pro Action Cops and Kids, a charitable organization that connects children, often from disadvantaged neighborhoods across much of Ontario, together with police officers in officer-developed and run programs. Stephen and Jill have two sons. Eric is now with Molson's as brand manager on Coors, and Adam, a former CFIG scholarship winner, is attending law school at the University of Toronto. Stephen says he and his family have made lifelong friends through CFIG. Stephen, Jill, and the boys enjoyed the summer meetings when they were able to reconnect annually with great friends in their extended CFIG family. Congratulations to Stephen Curry on being honored as a CFIG Life Member.
On behalf of the Board of Directors and members of the Canadian Federation of Independent Grocers, it is my pleasure to honor you with our Life Member designation. Stephen, this is the highest level of recognition that our organization can provide to those who have made a significant contribution to the growth and development of the independent grocer across Canada. Congratulations, Stephen, on your Life Member Award and your upcoming announced retirement. Stephen, please come forward to say a few words to our CFIG members, AMC, the grocery industry, and your friends, along with Jill and the rest of your family. Congratulations.
Thank you, Tom. Let me begin with some thank yous. I had never even dreamed about being considered for this award, let alone be chosen, from what I'm certain was a long list of industry builders. I would like to thank the board of CFIG for creating an environment and model where I could engage with members across the country over the last 15 years. I have had the privilege of building a truly unique set of customer relationships from coast to coast, which often included our spouses and children. I must also thank the countless bosses, mentors, peers, and team members from Smucker, Unilever, and across my supplier and customer network for their role in my personal development and our collective delivery over the years. This network of supporters enabled this award. I need to recognize my father and uncle for sparking my interest in CPG and marketing and sales through our family business. Then there's my wife, Jill, a fabulous and supportive partner, great mom, a financial professional in her own right, who put her career on the back burner to best support our children, Eric and Adam, and allowed me the opportunity to put extra time and energy against my teams, my brands, and of course, my customers. Thank you, Jill. I speak to you all today in unique circumstances. I recently announced my retirement, effective at the end of November. So my words today around the independent, the role of the CFIG, and my early retirement learning come from a unique position. I became involved with the CFIG in 2005 when, as VP Sales at Unilever, I joined the Associate Members Council, a group of industry peers whose purpose is to provide supplier perspective and context to the CFIG board. This peer group has been critical to me. I didn't need COVID to appreciate the role the independent grocers play in feeding Canadians. COVID simply reinforced it for me. In my time at Smucker, CFIG members have been amongst our most consistent and fastest growing customers. We worked hard, often through Acosta, to earn their trust and to apply our treasure trove of category and aisle insights to their strategies and circumstances. Successful CFIG members, be they large or small, be they from Vancouver Island or Newfoundland, have won by focusing on what they do best: localness, community, customer service, and winning in-store merchandising. I can only encourage independents watching to continue to focus on what you do best and leverage your natural advantages. As we look ahead, a few things come to mind as areas to focus on: your people, your data, and e-commerce. You simply must have some form of model that allows you to play in e-com. Reflecting on our industry today, it's clear that the CFIG has an important role to play on behalf of its members, manufacturers, and frankly, Canadians in general. The CFIG and the vendor community share similar views and positions on numerous critical industry topics, none being more important in the moment than food security and the concept of an industry code of conduct. My sincere hope is that manufacturers, CFIG, and others can work together to deliver a code. Codes have worked well for all parties in the UK and elsewhere, and I see no reason why the same result can't be achieved in Canada. Since the announcement of my retirement, I've been overwhelmed by the response and thought I might share an insight with those of you who are younger than me. I've been struck by how virtually no one has commented on results or successful business and brand achievements. Rather, all the commentary has been around the how one engages, how one demonstrates empathy and caring, how we align with customers, how one has impacted a career, and how one has helped someone who needed it or asked for it. The detail people remember is simply amazing. It's the little things, and often they go back 15 or 20 years. I wish someone had shared the power of how we engaged with me years ago. I might have engaged differently and more purposefully. I encourage you to reflect on what I've experienced in the last month and ask yourself, what can I do differently to positively engage and impact those around me? In closing, let me just say my engagement with CFIG and its members has been an absolute highlight of my last 15 years as a sales leader. I'm honored by the recognition and wish the CFIG and its members continued success. A strong independent grocery channel is a huge positive for Canada and our industry. I thank Smucker for enabling this engagement to flourish.
Congratulations, Stephen. I'm very pleased to announce that our next life member is a longtime CFIG member. Mr. Dave Powell.
In 1948, Dave Powell's father Herbert opened Newfoundland's first supermarket in a tiny store in the small town of Carbonear. The idea of coming in and picking your own groceries off the shelf turned out to be a big one, and the store prospered. A few years later, Herbert moved the store to nearby Bay Roberts. The business soon grew to include flooring, furniture, appliances, and fish processing. Son Dave grew up with those businesses, and after graduation from university, he managed various divisions. In 1987, the family decided to focus solely on full-service retailing, opening supermarkets in Carbonear and Harbour Grace. In 1990, Dave decided that in order to prosper, the company needed a guaranteed source of supply rather than relying on wholesalers who owned competing outlets. And so the wholesale division was born. But a year later, disaster struck when a government moratorium on cod fishing robbed the island of its lifeblood, and many left. Dave knew he had to keep his brand new warehouse busy, and he saw an opportunity in supplying food service to restaurants and takeouts. Not only did the business survive, it thrived. Today, Dave oversees a business that is 1/3 retail, 1/3 wholesale to other customers, and 1/3 food service. Dave says this balanced approach enables the company to weather the challenges of the grocery industry. Dave and his wife of 40 years, Regina, have 2 sons, both active in the business. Eldest son David is Director of Capital Assets and Transportation, and Adam is Director of Fresh. Dave is very proud of the fact that the Powells operate the largest wholesaler to independents in Newfoundland and Labrador. And when asked about CFIG, Dave says, "It's the best move I ever made in regards to running a business. I've made lifelong friends, and the opportunities to learn from others and exchange ideas have been invaluable." He says that without CFIG as the collective voice of the independent grocers, it would be much more difficult for them to survive, especially in today's competitive climate. Dave's father Herbert told him that in business, you need to continually march ahead. He said if you do stop, the guy coming up behind you is going to trample you. Continuing his dad's legacy, Dave and his sons are always looking for new opportunities and new ideas that will drive the business's success. Congratulations to Dave Powell on being honored as a CFIG Life member.
Congratulations, Dave. Your lifetime contribution to our industry reflects the dynamic role that independent grocers play across Canada. It's unfortunate that I can't present this award to you in person. Hopefully, we can celebrate your Life Member designation together at GSW in April. Dave, on behalf of your friends and colleagues at CFIG, our heartfelt congratulations.
Thank you very much, CFIG and Tom. Before I talk about my Life Member designation, I'd just like to congratulate Stephen Corey from Smuckers on receiving the CFIG Life Member Industry Builder Award. I know Stephen. I've worked with Stephen for many years. He's a true friend of the independent grocer in Canada, and of course has worked very hard with CFIG independents across the country. Very deserving of this award. Congratulations, Stephen. So, to my award, the Life Member Designation Award from CFIG. Amazing. Thank you very much, all. This recognition, my success, the success of the Powell Group of companies, would not be possible if not for the hard work and support of a very large group of individuals. And I'd like to name some of those people now. Firstly, my wife, Regina, for all her support over all the years, sticking with me all those long days and nights, good times, bad times. Thank you very much. My 2 sons, Adam and David, who are both working in the business now and both hold key roles. Their spouses for their support. And of course, I can't not mention my 3 grandkids who will no doubt be working in the business in some capacity at some point in time. My mother, who is still alive and at 88 years old, feeds me a couple lunches a week and is always interested in talking business, what's good, what's bad, what she likes, what she don't like, and certainly keeps me in line, in check, and a great asset. Thank you very much to my mother. My three sisters who aren't working in the business, but have from time to time worked in the business. Thank you to you. Let's get to my father. My father was a super hard worker, a true independent, and a great entrepreneur. He taught me many life's lessons, and I just want to, for a moment, share one. And it is near the end of my high school education. I had decided I was going to university, take chemistry, become a chemist, because I absolutely loved it, president of the chemistry club, et cetera, et cetera. He sat me down in his usual kind of direct way, and he said, son, I'll support you in whatever you want to do, but here are the rules. You take chemistry, it's on your nickel. You take business, you work with me for 3 years, it's my nickel. I very quickly made the decision. He taught me a very valuable business lesson and an economics lesson. So thank you, Father. I would also like to thank the thousands of staff who has worked with the company for the past 72 years. And that's a long time. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I'm just the director of the orchestra. All the musicians, all those thousands of staff over the years who has made this company work. Today's staff, truly amazing, an amazing group of people. And I'm so lucky to have them. And I am 100% confident that going forward, they will bring this company to the next level. We will continue to reach even greater heights than we're at today. We're living in very challenging times with COVID-19. We, and indeed, as I understand, all dependent grocers across Canada performed almost flawlessly in executing the business of distributing, selling groceries across all communities in Canada. A big shout out to independent grocers all across Canada. Great job. Nextly, a huge shout out to CFIG. And I want to start with Harry Watson, a dear friend of mine from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, his wife Sharon. Harry lobbied many, many years ago to have me considered as a board member for CFIG. He did. I did become a board member. I did eventually rise to the seat of chair. I served with three amazing presidents, John Scott, Tom Barlow, and Tom Shorey, and of course, dozens and dozens of absolutely amazing board members. Thank you very, very, very much all. I learned so much from my experience at CFIG, and as a board member and through my relationship with AMC members, the Associated Member Councils. Not to mention, I formed lifelong friendships, and I'm a much better grocer as a result of being a member and a board of director of CFIG. Thank you very much. I so look forward to meeting you all again in person, share a story, have a laugh, and maybe even do a little business, if that's permissible, face to face. Wouldn't that be amazing? Nothing in business is more important than the recognition by your peers. Thank you very much. Keep safe and keep that CFIG independent flag waving high. Thank you.
Congratulations, Dave. That's our celebration of grocers for 2020. Thank you for joining us. If you missed anything, the entire show will be available on demand for the next 30 days. Have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow at GIC Live at Home, starting at 12 noon sharp.